Yes, PJ. I grew up in a highly dysfunctional family of five stepdads. So my mom would have this parade of men. So I had a very distorted idea of what it means to be loved.
Hmm.
Now, for me to how I would think that I was loved when I could be a peacemaker. I would please everybody, everybody's total chaos, and I'm kind of keeping it together, this family. So I was an adult way too young.
Hmm.
And I carried this deep sense of responsibility that it's my job to make everybody happy. And here's another thing. So I became perfectionist, right? People pleaser, perfectionist, they dance together. And for most part of my life, I had this wired in my brain that I am lovable only to the point how much I produce in love in life. The more I produce, the more I feel my self-esteem, the more I am worthy to be loved. Oh, when you see that, it's so painful because you will attract men who will only accept you with that vibration, the same vibration.
Yeah.
So what I would
You're
do,
choosing to be a servant in that particular case. You're staying in a place where, all right, the only way I'm going to get love is to be somebody's servant, and I'll do anything that you say just so I can get a little bit of attention, a little bit of love.
yeah, yeah, pretty much, pretty much. And it was really interesting because I became incredibly workaholic, and I was achiever workaholic, and kind of a superstar. But deep inside of me, I did not feel worthy of taking a break, of doing things for me, and just really just being okay as I am, being okay to be loved imperfect. So the journey began, the pivotal moment was when the person who, my first ever love, the first soulmate love, let's just say, at 28 or 29, I had my biggest heartbreak that split my heart just open. And I couldn't recover for 2 years, PJ. 2 years. And at that point, I already had so much self-development tools. I was really deep on my journey. And I would do this and I would do that. And I would run into India to heal my heart. And nothing would work. I would just go dark and dark and dark and dark. And you know why it was so dark? Because the man that I fell in love, deep on the core, I felt that I wasn't enough for him. And it is very painful for a woman when you go through that, when you think it's your soulmate, and you had this powerful connection. And at that point, he was everything I thought I wanted in a man. And societal differences, whatever expectations, long story, but I wasn't enough for him. And it was very painful. I was felt deep, deep sense of pain. And he was my soulmate in a way that he did what he was meant to do, to break my heart open. So I really started cultivating that love. And that was the pivotal moment because I realized I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't know how and why, and nobody teaches you this. And what I started doing from that raw space, I started doing very baby steps, starting with physical body, like getting massage, getting acupuncture to balance my system, because you can't deal with your emotions until you bring your body to some kind of level of balance. So you start with the body, then you go to spirituality, nurture your connection to spirit. Because when you go into the pool of those really painful emotions, what's going to support you? It's your spirit.
Hmm.
Your spirit will give you courage to look deep into your stuff. So yeah, that was the process.
I love that actually, because I don't love that you got your heart broken, but what I love is that you said he was my soulmate so that I could learn to love myself. So you recognize this is not something that was done to you, but an opportunity given for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Caroline Mice talks about benevolent adversary.
Hmm.
It's soulmates that break our heart, people who betray us,
Hmm.
people who take advantage of it. They give us the biggest gift, because if how can you learn a lesson of forgiveness if you have no one to forgive. And not like somebody stole your purse.
Right.
No, you know what I mean? But somebody just laughed and took all your money, or somebody cheating on you and took all your money. Deep stuff that you're like, I can't believe another human being can do this to another human being. I'm talking about that deep of sense of betrayal. And when you go through those steps of initiations, you just begin to understand that being human, you have to see your shadow. You have to see another person's shadow, and not go into blame and a victimhood, because it's very easy to go there. But see, okay, what this experience is teaching me, what this karma that I am recreating, why, and sit with it. No matter how long it's going to take you, just literally sit with that.
Go ahead. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and what I mean by sit with that, sometimes if a woman is too in her mind, she will want to find the solution, like tomorrow. It just doesn't work like that. You have to give yourself permission. Like, I had to give myself permission to be in that depression for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I did not have any other tools but just be with it. And also, PJ, what it taught me, compassion. When you go through depression for 2 years and you're like, you're always optimistic and happy person, it's a very awkward, heavy state to be in.
Terrible.
It's very unnatural, right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
So what happens, you have compassion, like work, like you and I do, right? We see people in the most complex situations, and we really can hold space for them, not take it, but just really say, I feel with you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel with you. Yeah.
So they don't feel alone anymore, and they know that they can move forward because they have a little bit of support, which means a little bit of power, so they're not doing it all on their own when they feel like they have nothing already. Katerina, this is such a deep conversation. I almost wish we'd started here, because this is a really, really important piece. But I need to honor the time, your time, and as well as the ladies that are watching. So let me ask one final question, okay? What is it that women can do right now? And I think this is really sort of aligned with what you're saying. This is a great opportunity for you to help them get where you're suggesting. What is it that women can do right now after this interview is done, or this conversation is done, that they can go and do right now that will begin to move them towards learning to love themselves again?
I would encourage them to close their eyes, put a hand on their heart, and ask, what do I desire this moment? And the thought comes up, and act on it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a 20-minute nap. Maybe it's a hug, or get a hug from someone. Maybe it's a bath. Maybe it's a new outfit. What do I desire? This is going to be specific for each woman. Just really celebrate her desires and act on them.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And when you said maybe it's a hug, go and find somebody to hug you. Ladies, you can actually even hug yourself, right? You can kiss yourself. You can look in the mirror and talk to yourself and love yourself. I know, I do too. I know. I'm like,
well, you did more sexy than me. Oh my goodness.